Empty screen? That's not good. Good morning, Bree. I am not working here. Yeah, I have that every day. It's getting better actually with what I've adjusted for food intake. I would not have thought that the food would bother me. Hope you are well, Fatima. Hey, Kaylee. Do you feel like painting this morning, Kaylee, or you want me wait for a couple, 2 or 3 more days? Because I can. You know what? Let's do. Let's do. Yeah, let's do something simple today. Let's do something slow and simple. That's going to be very simple. This is just a 8x10 little canvas. Let's kind of zoom her in just a tiny bit. Click that button, click this button. Hopefully that works. No gesso. Skipping school today? Shame on you. Kind of wondered when I told you to go to bed last night because you were sleeping. So we're going to give Kaylee, sorry for the gulpy, a couple seconds to set up. Okay, time's up. No, just kidding. Basic white, basic white. I don't think it's basic white, but whatever. What would you prefer? Would you prefer it to be hung that way or hung the other way? Hey, what's going on? Okay. Good morning. Let's go portrait mode. And let's also figure out where our piece of tape went. Someplace around here there's a painting with a chunk of tape on the back of it. That'll work. Looking great. White canvas. Nothing there yet. Confused. very confused. Okay. Oh, the green tape? Yeah, probably. Okay. Red, blue. We're not going to get complicated. Let's go with simple yellow. Grab some basic titanium white. Yeah, it's just a cheap canvas. You can do it with paper. Would you prefer me to do it with paper? Because if you want me to do it with paper, I'll have to. Um, do you guys prefer me to paint on paper? It's totally up to you. Just say yes or go ahead and start. Probably should splash them. Okay. So a lot of people don't have gesso or other things to throw on their canvases or papers just to get that. And a lot of people don't have mediums, like a matte medium or. So this is craft white. Comes out of a big, humongous jug. It's no different than the little tube of white. It's no different than the greens you can buy. Nothing fancy. Would you guys like me to turn on that camera? I'm going to try. Kaylee, just for you, I am going to attempt to turn on a second camera. Maybe. Maybe I am. Yep, I am. Okay. Let's open this. Let's close this. I don't have a clue what's going to happen. Trying to. Oh, can hear myself. Eek, you guys don't want that. Looks like it's plugged in. Yeah. Yeah, one of these days they're going to name it something. Thank you. There it is. Zombie. I still gotta change that, but stop. There we go. Nope, that's not it. Oh, I think so too. I touched buttons. That's not it. It's obviously not happy. Huh. That camera seems to be done. Okay. Poof. Poof. How's that, camera? So, yeah, okay. I guess we're gonna stick with this one. Yeah, it's not frozen. I'm right here. All right, let's get to painting. Let's grab just a tiny bit of water. Let's wet our brush. We're just wetting it. Kind of wipe it off on our towels, just so we have a little bit of water on our canvas, or in your case, paper. Of course, this brush obviously was not clean. Yep. Feel free to go pick up one of these. My son bought it for me. I mean, I have these, but I had destroyed this brush, and these are firm. If you look behind the brushes on this little gray strip right here, it's going to say extra firm, firm, medium, and extra soft. I like getting the firm ones for some things, and then you get the soft ones. So just put in a little bit of water. Then I'm going to grab some craft white and spit it on my sweatshirt. All right, careful that you don't flick your paint at yourself. Just going to put a little craft white on here. Craft white is going to work kind of like a gesso, kind of, sort of. It's going to be very thin at the moment. I'm not going to use any glycerin because you all don't. Probably not everybody has some glycerin. Gonna grab a corner. You just the white with the paper. This takes a little bit more because I got to get the fibers to move. Just a tiny, tiny touch of red. Is that, I think, focused. Yeah, that's good enough. Tiny touch of red. Put it on a palette. Grab a good dollop of blue. Put it into that red. You want a little bit of a lighter color. And we're just going to kind of while it's still wet before it gets too dry. Obviously this canvas was stacked on top of don't worry about lines. And then you want to kind of just move it, keep using your paint up and keep coming down to right about, you can see where your white ended because it'll kind of break a little bit. I have almost like instant, you got some variations in color. If you want, you can grab just a touch more blue and throw it in there. And maybe throw some darker blues. Now, if you want to make it fluffy and you want all those marks to go away, just grab any little blender brush you have and kind of knock those lines out of there. I'm not too worried about this drying up on me because I'm going to use it in a few minutes, so I'm not going to wash it right this second. And grab a touch more of that craft white. Oh, excuse me for 1 second. That's the hospital. Oh, lucky me, lucky me. So I just took some white, just the craft white. The reason I'm not using titanium is because titanium is a very strong white. If you only have titanium, go ahead and use it. But I'm just going to kind of bring up that lower part white just a little bit. We're kind of go softer when you get into the blue. So you get that nice blend up in there. So far, pretty simple. Did I say goodbye to Kevin? I can't remember if I said goodbye to Kevin. Alright. Now, we want kind of a cloudy day. You notice I'm still using this brush. Little tiny bit of titanium. Not enough to really worry about. And we're just going to kind of go in circles up here. We're not going to get into like the super. Now, because I want my cloud to be fairly white on the bottom, I'm just going to kind of just softly blend the top. And then just bump the bottom. Just bump it. You just want to lightly kind of just barely. You can see that the blue hasn't really changed. There's a tiny bit of white on there, but not a ton. Maybe we'll put a little something right here. We don't know if we'll use it, but we'll. We want just a tiny bit of color right there. Just to kind of not make that cloud lonely. Same as right here. Kind of invisible. And if you want to take the time and kind of really put some edges on your cloud right there, you can. I got a blue spot right here. Simple, not too carried away. Let me know when you guys are all set. I know I paint quite fast, so I gotta remember that. Slow down. So I rinsed my brush and I added a little more white to right here. Notice I didn't cover the whole paper though, the whole canvas. We are going to do a mountain today, so relax, relax. It's not a complicated mountain. We're still going to use this brush. So far, we've used this brush and just any blender. I mean, this is what I started out with. I love this brush. I've painted thousands of pictures with this brush right here. Didn't really make my daughter happy when I swiped it from her, but because it's like a Jerome Alexander. But as you can see, I haven't rinsed. Still got crud on my brush. I'm going to go into our straight blue. And kind of holding my brush. See, got a little bit on there. Not a ton. Let me pop that focus on so it focuses when I move my hand closer. That better? Yeah, who knows? Probably not. Probably gonna drive you crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna go with the darker. Nope. Let's grab and throw the white in there. Let's do this first. Let's make a light blue. And we're just gonna go ahead and kind of just put one right there. And maybe one right here. And kind of still haven't changed the angle of my brush. And let's go back here and throw one right in here. Just turning over to use up the paint that's on the other side. Hey, we got 3 blue mountains. Piece of cake, right? That was easy. Let me know when you're caught up. I remember we had put the white paint down here, so we kind of have to move a little quicker. Now we're going to grab that dark I was talking about before, the dark blue. It doesn't have any white in it. Straight up dark blue. And we're going to add it in between, kind of a few spots. So get a little dark one there. Oh, maybe a dark one right here. Just remember, this is still just the straight blue. This doesn't have any white in it. Oh, I think we're going to add one in between here. Don't go too high up. You want to kind of make sure that people can see that other mountain. So maybe over here we can go like that. So far we have further mountains, a little bit closer mountains. Let's grab the blue. If I get fast, tell me. Tiny touch of red. I mean, just a splash of red on our. We're going to put it right into that blue that we made the second mountains with. Are we doing okay? You want me to slow down? Okay, let me know what to do. I'm going too fast. You'll be fine. Nice thing about mountains is you can't really just turn your brush. Your brush has kind of got an angle to it. Just go ahead and set it there. Wiggle it that way. Wiggle it this way. Voila, instant hill. Probably shouldn't make it look like it's got a milk dispensary on the top. That was my bad. Try to find creative ways to say certain words. I'll grab a little bit more. I gotta make just a hair more of that color, which is just blue and red. So you have a nice deep, kind of a purpley blue color. Maybe we'll throw this one a little taller. Let's put this one way up here. You grew up to be a little taller. Hey, nothing fancy. Aye. Pretty much. I'm kind of, you can change it this way. I try to make mine so everything kind of has a flow in one direction or the other. And don't over fix them. Hey, Laura, all these little spots where your brush is kind of picked up and you get like let's say right here, where you get a light spot, don't play with it. Just let it be. It gives it a little more texture, a little more variance in color. It's not going to change. It's not going to hurt anything. It's fixable. What do you mean fixable? You're not going to mess it up. Relax. I'm just grabbing a little white. Just put some more white on the bottom. I'm just going to kind of just put a little paint in there and kind of just blend that down. Let's grab our blender. I'm pulling up, but I'm not pulling all the way into I'm lifting before I hit the mountains, the tops. So now we end up with foggy bottom. That was fairly easy. Didn't require a whole lot of effort. Just gonna put some more, and I didn't wash my brush yet. Still got the blue in it. And that's on purpose because we don't want to lose the connection between the two fields. If we were painting snow, even the blue would be great in here. Just kind of softly putting it in there. so far. No problem. Easy peasy. I'm just gonna fix something real quick. I got this spot. Kind of lost my paint right there. There we go. Had my paint kind of disappear right there. So normally I would switch to another brush, but I'm trying to make it so you guys can kind of keep up with me. Do you want me to use the same brush, or would you like to switch to another brush? Because we can switch to just a regular or just a filbert if you want. Let's use. Well, we have that one, or that one. Oh, your cat? Or is it a chicken? Now this dark blue part we made, the front mountains, I'm going to take and toss. I got a little tiny filbert. I'm going to toss a little yellow into that dark blue spot. The spot that we added the red to. So it should come out kind of looking kind of a weird green color. Sideways. Oh, where do we want to put this? Probably somewhere right around in here. And I'm just keeping my brush, not pushing too hard because I don't want to really lose the whole sharper edge of it. A little taller toward the edge. And I'm kind of holding it so when it hits, hey Anthony, I don't panic. I do not panic. Do I panic? Sometimes, I suppose I do. Now I put the little shorter ones right here. I'm actually going to go back in. Yeah, not anymore. No Twinkies, no gummy bears, no cookies, no soda. Oh, just rinsing my brush. Gonna switch to the larger filbert because this edge on this one is just horrendous. I'm trying to stick with the more common paintbrushes and stay away from the ones out of the big paintbrush case. Switching to just another one. No kale, but pretty close. Yep. Hey Joe, what's going on? So same deal, just a little thinner brush. That's all right. Red's fine. Throw some blue in it. I tap into red. There's red in here. Want to add red? Let's add red. Hey Joe, how are you? So you've got your red in there. So now go over, grab yourself a little swipe of blue, and just kind of tap in next to them. I'll have to I'll check. Yeah, we just throw a little blue in with the red, and we kind of produce kind of a purpley color. That's fine. If you wanted to go ahead and toss some yellow in there, you could do that too. It's totally up to you. It's not going to hurt anything. Yeah, that's what I'm doing later is doing a bunch of gardening outdoors today. Digging out my lawnmower because I got to get my grass mowed. Can't believe I had the snowblower out just a couple weeks ago. I just added a touch of darker blue. Now I'm going to kind of just swipe the bottom just ever so slightly. Yeah, I got to move my car out of the garage. Gonna put a little bit of yellow into that green that I made the trees with. Already did. And I'm just tapping in that kind of green yellow. Because I want to add red to it. Right there. And I wanted to have kind of a brown. tiny touch of water. Thank you, Joe. Take care of yourself. Say hi to Chrissy. Just getting what's on the brush off. Relax. This is just what's in the brush. There's nothing nothing new in it. Didn't add any paint. Remember we had our white, our craft white. So we're just adding I just added a tiny touch of water on my brush. All I'm doing is tinting the craft white. Not doing anything fancy about it. I'll just kind of take a dry brush. Well, it's a wet brush, but no paint on it. And we'll kind of just add a little extra texture right there. Can't believe how tired I am. What's going on? Listen, well, what's up? Thank you. Rolling on my cord. I can't move. That'd be fine. Now all I did was take my black, add yellow to it, and I end up kind of like this, kind of a brown green, almost an olive green color. And I made that right on top of the spot that has the greens and the reds, and so any green, any black with a little yellow will kind of become green. There's one or two that won't, but yeah. There's a couple that won't do that, but it's pretty rare. Thank you. Simple. Fat, long filbert. Get a nice edge. You can see the edge it's got on it. It's easy, Kaylee. Relax. Get to the end. You're going to just... How can I show this where you guys can see it? Can't do it left-handed. I can't do it right-handed. Well, you're going to have to just trust me. We're just touching the top, turning it a little bit. Just tapping it out. If you notice that one side's got a kind of a different droop than the other, flip your brush over. And when you do it, kind of you got your line. Kind of push down just a hair when you do it. And what that will do, kind of give you these, don't push down too hard, but kind of gives you those. It's simple. No dragging, just tapping. Tap, tap, tap. Don't drag. You don't want to drag them when you want to make them. You just basically want to be tapping. And you may end up with these. You may end up with a bunch of these. Take your brush, flip it over. Change the angle that you're doing it a little bit. So if you come this side, go that way. If you come this side, go this way. And you end up with, let's get just a touch of water because my paint kind of dried up doing that. You know, tap, turn, move down. And turn your brush over so you can get a little different look to it over here. Maybe rotate it on that side a little bit. Tree. Who's going to say that's not a tree? I mean, looks like a tree. You just need the impression that it's a tree. You don't have to make a perfect shaped tree. Matter of fact, that one's almost too shaped. I gotta grab just a tiny touch of black and put it in my green. And we're gonna maybe add just a tiny bit of trunk to that. Now I'm gonna add a little bit more yellow to that color I just made that tree with. And what do you think? Probably right around here somewhere. Maybe we'll put a little bit of that out here too. Kind of downward a little bit. Get a little valley going, you know. Got some mist back there. We got a lone tree. It's kind of grab a little bit of the dark. I'm gonna grab just a pinch. I'm talking like the end of a pen of black. Put it in that green that we made the tree with. Go down the bottom. And kind of add some finish to the big tree. Now you can actually use the same technique. Grab a little yellow, maybe a tiny touch of the titanium white. You're gonna end up kind of a very similar color to this in here. It's gonna be a little bit more noticeable. No, I do not. I load both sides because I'll flip my brush. But and now I'm just taking the brush. Where before we were going down with it, now I'm pushing up. Now I have all these grasses I can create real quick. We can go a little darker. Just kind of go around that pile of paint that you made and kind of grab some different colors and stuff. If you want to add a little touch of red, and let's throw a little touch of red in that pile. Kind of pull some green through it. Kind of throw a couple of those in here. Maybe grab a little touch of yellow, throw that on top. I'll throw a couple of those in there. And you can even go with a touch of black, but you gotta be very careful how much black you put in because these can look like. And just touch it this time. Don't put the big spots in. Kind of thorny looking stuff. And you can do the same thing this way. If you don't have a brush that does that, just, Now I know it's weird that I paint this way because I am going to add 2 more trees to this little hill right here probably. I do it just myself so I can see where I'm moving my stuff around to, Maybe we'll just kind of pull up on these just a tiny bit, kind of give them a little bit of a hazy look. Yeah, there we go. Hope that makes sense to what I just did. So took the hard edges out of them. So now it's kind of a blended, shadow, some kind of burnt grass, some okay grass, some green grass, some brush, Are we good? Am I too far ahead? Should I slow down for a minute? I can take a break for a minute. I don't mind breathing. Because nothing's, for me, is wet right this minute to worry about. And don't worry about creating all this mess. Clean your brush off in it. Your brush has got some browns and greens. Feel free to kind of, you can see where this valley goes. You can see that, there might even be water that runs down right here. We don't know. Maybe it's a swamp. This could be all swampland for all we know, and the mist is there. So give yourself a couple little hills and changes in greens and browns. You've got your background. You've got your little puffy cloud. You've got your depth of mountains back there. That's fine. That's great. You can't. Don't overthink it. I'm doing all right. How about yourself, Ian? I'm doing a rarity and actually slowing down and letting people paint with me. Usually I just speed through paintings and people watch. But I'm doing okay. Staying busy. Paint every day. I try to go live every single day. I'm trying to do 365 days this year. Thanks. Took, you know me. I took the EN sky and I took the Ethne sky and I made my own sky. I kind of blended the two worlds to fit me. Yeah, I was just don't be afraid to put. I mean, if you're putting like a black, say you happen to grab a black by accident or a dark blue, grab some yellow. And if your yellow's not quite bringing it up for you, just put a little touch of white in your yellow. Yellow mixed in with a black is going to make it a green, more green. If you happen to have a little red in there, you're going to end up with some browns. Um, you know, it's not going to hurt. Extra flavors aren't going to bother it. Not everything is perfectly green, that's for sure. You know, your golf course take an awful lot of work, and I don't think we all live on a golf course. Personally, I'd throw some dead trees in this, but I don't think I will this time. We'll probably add another larger tree back here, not so big, but you know, maybe put some stuff down here. I don't think I'm going to get too carried away with it. Trying to do a simple one for you all. I mean, this up until this point was one brush, and then we used, you know, a little bit of blender. You guys tell me when you're all set. I'm here for you today. Thank you all for the thumbs up too. I do appreciate it. Feels good. And I'm not worried about too much about this drying out on me. I don't have any glycerin or anything in it. There you go. Be nice to have a big rock right there. Actually, would be pretty cool. Um, actually, we could add a rock right. Can add a big rock right there if you wanted to. Yeah, sure. Why not? Put a rock over here. No, I kind of like that. Let's grab a rock. Let's put a rock. Let's put a rock over here. Let's grab. I'm gonna grab my craft white, and I'm gonna use my craft white for an outliner. Kind of maybe throw a rock like this right here. Yeah, oh, there we go. See, just put white on top of our wet paint. Just sitting there. Be well, Laura. Be well. Oh, I don't know. Let's maybe kind of just kind of move around some black right in here. Maybe we'll leave a little white right there and kind of move it like that. And let's gonna and grab a little blue into our black. just a little bit of blue. And let's go like right here. Maybe we'll kind of just dig something right in here. I'm gonna throw my titanium, just another pea size, not even pea, just a ballpoint pen size. And maybe we'll just kind of throw a little gray right here. And that's enough rock look for me. I mean, I can go much darker if we want to. Let's kind of maybe a little bit of white, my gray. So my gray is a little bit brighter. And don't really need a lot of that right there. A little bit right there, and maybe a little on the top. Just to give you those, just to kind of give you that three-tiered rock look. Hey Shane, what's going on? That rock wasn't very hard. Got rocks stacked up, kind of like maybe it's a big pile right there. Again, super easy, not complicated. Just relax and let the rock kind of create itself. And don't worry about this edge right here. Because let's face it, right about there, that's going to have a frame edge around it. About this much of my painting is not going to exist. Right about where that line is right there. So I'm not worried about that very outside edge. And if I wanted to turn this into just going to hang this on the wall, what I'd like to do is put black on the edge. I like to paint my edges black. When you get better at it, you can go right around the corner and paint right with it, but sometimes that's a bit of work. Let's grab that. Grab a touch of blue. Now in that brown color that I mixed for here, same brush, big brush, just going to use it for 1 second. Just because I want that nice straight edge, and I just mix my paint with it, so why waste it? Oh, where would you look good? And I'm not worried about the green. Not at all. I mean, I can go dark if I want to. You could do that in black. You could do that in blue. Whatever you feel like. I just happen to feel like doing it in that color. Excuse me for half a second. I need to grab a drink of water. Water, terrible. Sure do miss sodas. We're gonna go back to our handy dandy filbert, grab a little water. Now I can make this tree really dark if I wanted to. Probably won't. Let's go with yellow. Yellow. Grab a tiny touch of red. Make an orange. Tiny touch of blue. Make a mud. But then I'm going to add a tiny touch of yellow at the end. Color's just off just a hair. I need that just a tiny bit lighter. And I'm going this light for a reason. Oh, chunks start straight up and down, so it's nice and sharp. Take it and slowly turn your brush as you go down. The other way to do it, you can do it this way. All right. Let's grab some blue so you can see it. Turn. Or you can go like so. Straight, easy, easy, easy. Push harder, 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 harder. And then it'll do it for you. And wiggle. Don't be afraid to wiggle a little bit. I gotta rinse my brush off, end up with a blue tree. Yeah, don't be afraid to wiggle the. Oh, use up all my paint. Go a little darker on the bottom. Now my tree looks kind of. Now I'm gonna grab a touch of black because I do not have a sap green on my page because I wanted to do it with just these colors, just red, blue, yellow, and white, and a touch of black. So all I did was add yellow and black. That's all I did to that same pile that I made this with. Now, I got a little bit of brightness there. I'm looking at my mountains. I'm thinking, well, they kind of are darker on this side and a little lighter on this side. So let's take and make this side dark. And I want that right off the page. I hate painting off the page, but and go that way just a tiny bit here and there. A little dark down the bottom. And you can leave it there because you got your shadow and you got your lighter side. You can go. I mean, I don't have much brightness up there, so probably we're not going to bring a ton of bright colors in here. Let's add a little bit more yellow. Maybe we'll do a little bit too much yellow. Just a baby tree next to it, you know. A bit dark. Maybe that's mom. I don't know. Get a little dark on this side because it's kind of shadowed over there. And he's kind of got an Eileen thing going. And if you want to bring that tree up, just because it's kind of dark right there, I'm going to grab some yellow, tiny touch of white, and I'm going to throw it right into that color that I made this tree with. Maybe we'll throw a little bit of that over here. Now you don't have to lean your tree. You can go straight up. You can do anything you want. I just kind of like it when my trees lean because that's how I paint. It's weird. I could put a big old bush right there or something, or we could have made a river right here if you wanted to. Like I said, the choice was yours if you wanted to build a lake around this. This whole space right here, if you had taken it and made a nice shoreline right there, you could have done that in a nice, you know, a little darker, something in light in the middle. You could have turned that whole thing into a lake, and then you could have made a nice bank on this side. It really was up to you. I wanted to do kind of a simple one today, nothing complicated. Very easy techniques to do. I mean, could I spend 6 hours and, you know, break out some fancy trees? Sure, we can do fancy trees, but um, you just really want to give the idea. I mean, this is kind of a dark painting and the water's kind of a little messed up, but, you know, this same technique modified just a little bit, easier touch, a little different colors, you can end up with trees like this. You know, it's the same technique, just, you know, it's just what colors you use, what kind of paint you use, the darks and the lights and the shadows in the background. It how hard you push on it. I mean, I did this one with just a smaller filbert, you know. Um, this tree right here, I did with a little filbert makeup brush, you know. Don't be afraid to experiment. And of course, on the back, it shows you using a fan brush to do these trees. Great. If you can. I can't. I like to use the little filbert or the larger filbert. What they. Yep. You know, I happen to really. I mean, I use the daylights out of this one just because it's the most comfort for me, and my trees around here kind of hang. If you go out west, these would actually be facing kind of more upward. It all depends what kind of tree you have. Christmas trees, like blue spruce and stuff, they face upward. So, yep, filberts are great. You can use a fan brush if you want. I suppose I could do one with a fan brush, but I don't want to paint on this too much because, well, it does have a painting on the back of it. It's just an old painting I did of some snowmen. Rocks. I think you listen well. Both Ian and Anthony both have videos where they do rocks. There's my zombie. That should change today. Thank you, Ian, very much. You didn't have to do that, my friend, but thank you. I do appreciate it. You get to have a zombie too. That's actually going to change today. So I have a zombie beaver. But I want to do something that most people with stuff from Walmart or Michael's or the simple stuff you can pick up at the craft store, you can pull this off. You could do this on watercolor paper. I probably could do it better on watercolor paper. This is actually a canvas. That's actually a stretch canvas today. Yeah, which is for me is kind of a strange thing to paint on. Yeah, I'm still working on the zombie beaver to get it exactly right. But Kaylee, you know, Travel Dreamer, anyone else that was painting today, you can do that. That's not a complicated painting. You can see that I did pretty much 2 movements to get these mountains, just to change variants of blues. You know, the shades, just shade them a little bit darker and a little bit darker. You can go the other way if you wanted to, but I like them this way because it gives you more depth. You don't have to add so many. You can just do 2 or 3. But, you know, and you can change, you can put, some ground over here. Just kind of give yourself layers, 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layer, 4 layer, 5 layers, 6 layers, 7 layers, 8 layers, 9 layers. Thank you. I got a little bit of practice doing mountains, just a tiny bit. No, Well, Kaylee. Yeah, I don't believe you. I don't. Um, Thank you, George. I'll say that because George is just watching this stream. Kaylee, where did you send it? Did you send it to my email or did you send it to IG or Facebook? Okay. Wow. Stop being antisocial. I think that's why. Working on it, Sonia. Um, you should see what's coming up on Melon. They are, they just added the widgets. They've added three different types of widgets. Green screen capability. Excuse me for 1 second. Um, they're adding. They're doing their best to make it more user friendly. With stream elements, OBS programs, and they're really trying hard to make it extremely user friendly. No, it's not. Nope. Nope. That's actually, yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually works very good with Mac. Melon and Logitech and Stream Elements, they're all kind of connected with each other. Katie, that's fine. It's fine. You just got to remember to relax. You did fine, and as far as turning that into a lake, it's beautiful. She did great. You got the rocks figured out. Yeah, yeah. You got to use Chrome, but I use Chrome on Mac all the time. Um, I have I have one Mac sitting right in front of me, and I have one PC in front of me. Actually, I have two PCs in front of me, and two connected Macs. But anyway, um, they want you to run Chrome only because Chrome connects better to YouTube, and it allows you to do different things that using the Mac programs, Safari and stuff, Firefox, etc., aren't so happy about running on YouTube. Okay, if you're gonna do it is, Kaylee. Do your blue with it wet. Okay. After you put down your white, you're basic using like Ian uses a retarder in his craft white to kind of lengthen the time. You can use like I use glycerin. Anthony uses glycerin. This time I didn't use anything because I was on canvas. But when it's wet, add your little bit of white and then take your brush and softly. I mean, I'm talking. We're not talking take it and do this. You just want that brush to just touch. So when you're on your paper, you just want to move it around. Here, I'll even show you. Let's grab some paint. And don't get the makeup brush wet, whatever you do, until you want to clean it. I'm going to use a blue just to show you. Yeah, tiny bit of blue. You see how I'm just barely missing? Now, the only reason I put it on that brush and not on another one is because I didn't want to get one dirty, but you just take and move the paint around. You just go softly, just easily. And now if I wanted to turn that into like a cloud, I can see I take my other brush and we just touch it. Just just wisp it. Kaylee, if you want to use a different brush and a different technique, but you know, you can see that you can move a lot with this brush. You don't want this because this is not going to do anything for you but make you a spot. All right? You basically want it so you're just touching it. It'll be easier to show you. You know what, Kaylee? Remind me tomorrow. Remind me in the morning when I paint tomorrow. I'm going to be able to paint tomorrow morning. I'm going to be earlier than normal. And it's only going to be like a half hour or something. But we will just cover a cloud tomorrow, if that's what you'd like. We will just do a sky and a cloud. We'll do that one step. Maybe we'll do a sky, a cloud, and a rock, if that's helpful. I'm open to any time you guys want. You let me know. Yeah. I see that it ended up. Well, unless you're like me and stick my finger in the middle of my paintings, that fingerprint will be on them. No, I did a painting. I kind of need to add something. Oh, where do we want to put him today? Let's grab. Yeah. acrylic marker. It's actually paint. It's a paint marker, but I figured I might as well throw an autograph on that. Turned to cottage cheese. Did they get cold? Normally, acrylic won't turn to cottage cheese unless it gets extremely cold or it's very old. You can try to, sometimes you can try to massage them. Um, but they don't always come back. Usually at that point, they're garbage. Yeah, they probably separated heavily. You're probably going to have a tough time with those. Excuse me for 1 second. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we were just practicing some things today. You can occasionally get away with, if you're going to be painting on watercolor paper, you can use just a little bit of water and use them as a watercolor. They actually work okay as a watercolor, where you're not putting on thicker paints like this. You're going with a thinner, kind of like almost like a wash. I've done that with some paints that were kind of going bad because you're only getting pieces of it that are worth anything. So you're pretty much using mostly water and kind of staining your watercolor paper like you would with watercolors. If you don't want to throw them out, otherwise just, they're pretty much going to be no good to you on an acrylic painting. Or you want some depth because they're very difficult to get to come back. Almost impossible. I don't think there's any way to fix it. A little bit. Don't worry about it. Keep it taped. Don't untape it. Let it dry. Best thing to do, Kaylee, is to wet one side of it and then put it under something to let it sit. Let it dry. Have it weighted down, let it dry. And then when you flip it over and you paint the other side, it'll actually flex itself into kind of a straight press. A lot of my papers, before I use them, like the one I have painting, I'm going to paint soon. Yes, I have another one. This was pre-wet on the back. Yep. They'll end up looking like this. You can take you can take a warped up piece like this, and once it dries completely, it's enough where you can put it in something. Well, I'm going to head out. I've got a bunch of things to do today. I hope that kind of helps you guys a little bit. Go check out Grayscale Painting. Yeah, go check out Ianopolis. They both have videos on rocks. They both have videos on clouds. They both paint acrylics using fairly simple techniques, different techniques. Like I said, I watched Ian, Chrissy, and Anthony. Those are the three people I learned. Well, and Clyde 5 Art. Those are the four people I learned from. And this is where I'm at now. Do I continue to paint every day to teach myself more every day and to learn every day? And like, I'll pick something I'm working on right now is trying to get this section right here in a happier place. And I think I'm right there. I think I'm right at the point now where I'm happy with this section of my paintings. Um, Next is probably going to be the mid for me. The middle of the painting I want to kind of work on next to get that another level of depth, because let's face it, it's a little flat. It could have used a little darkening in here, shadowing stuff. Um, I spend all kinds of time working on trees and flowers, as you know. So, still working on flowers, still trying to get them, that deep, deep feel. You know, I'm still working on trying to get things to go back to look sometimes like this, which is kind of a simplistic painting. But, you know, never stop learning. But thank you all. Enjoy life today. Please just give yourself a couple minutes. Do something for yourself. Pet the dog. You never know what tomorrow brings. And I will see you guys all again tomorrow. Much peace to you all. Take care. Kaylee, anytime you want to do a private one, you just let me know. I'd be happy to. Same with you, Travel Dreamer. Anytime. Be well.